Game on. This is it. Live drawing session, part 2. So where are we at from last time? Been about 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. A long time. And I've done a drawing every single day since. So I thought it'd be good to do another live show. Hello everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. So obviously with a harebrained scheme such as this, there is a very distinct chance that everyone might suddenly go, yeah, Ash, this isn't funny anymore. So before that happens, I thought I'd squeeze in another one of these. So this is going to be a little bit trickier than the last one. I don't know if you remember the last one. It was where I drew the amazing Val Kilmer from Batman Forever. And at the risk of blowing my own trumpet, I like to think I pulled it off pretty well. So I thought to myself, where do I go from here for a live drawing session? So I thought about all the cool characters, all the cool fictional characters, and I thought, I'm not going to draw one face. I'm not going to draw two faces. I'm going to draw an entire series of faces. Okay? A whole series of faces. Now, what's special about this series of faces? Okay, I'll give you a couple of clues. It's a British institution, and even though the faces change their appearance, the character always remains the same. Can you guess what it is? The name always remains the same, but the character's face changes appearance. Have you got it yet? That's right. It's James Bond. There you go. All the Bonds are in a big row. Yeah, sorry for misleading you there. You might have thought for a second I was going to do Doctor Who. And the reason why I'm not doing Doctor Who is because any photo of Doctor Who that you look for, when all the characters are lined up, you quickly realise that the faces of the Doctor kind of look like my drawings anyway. So I thought, let's do something a little bit different. So I've got a Mount Rushmore of saucy quips and testosterone here to seek my teeth into. Now what I'm going to do for you guys, for your indulgence, because it's not just fun, okay, we're going to learn a few things about drawing here too. This is a professional expert artist tutorial, and yes, I am going to draw the Bonds in order of their appearance. Order of their appearance, which means I am going to start with George Lazenby. Yeah, you heard right, folks. Again, a bit misleading. I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, come on, Ash, there's a glaring error there. George Lazenby is not the first James Bond. Well, look, I'm not going to do Sean Connery on this drawing, and I've got a good reason for not doing Sean Connery, which I may or may not go into a bit later on. It's a little bit embarrassing, so yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, so I'm going to start with George Lazenby, and you start all drawings by mapping out. So look, he's on the exact same trajectory of this is my pen, by the way, on the exact same trajectory of Timothy Dalton there, which is great. And then flanked either side by Moore and Brosnan. And then missing out Connery altogether, he's not going to appear in the drawing. Going to have Daniel Craig standing tall in the middle. So this is good. So I've got a kind of blueprint I can work with. I'm not going to draw any of that shadow underneath. That's just rubbish, isn't it? You can't even see what that is. So, drawing a picture, starting with Lazenby. Okay, so I'm going to do some imaginary lines. Yep. And those are my Bonds in raw blueprint form. So, starting with Lazenby, good old Lazenby, the tragic Bond, the sad Bond, the Bond that failed. Poor guy. So, all the other Bonds succeeded in their respective missions. George Lazenby didn't succeed. Poor chap, because he got married. And then at the end of the film, Blofeld and whatever whatever the woman's name was, Madam Ladyface. They drove past in, can't remember what car it was. I mean, I don't flipping know anything about Bond cars. I think it was a Robin Reliant or something. But anyway, sniped his wife and shot her and killed her, and then the film ends. It was very red wedding-ish, very ahead of its time, actually. I mean, imagine if that was the last ever Bond film. It'd be pretty messed up. So I'm going to try and portray that sadness in his face. That picture of him may or may not be taken after the tragic incident. I'm going to capture that sadness of Lazenby. I'm going to put some real, emotion into this, starting with those sunken cheeks. Very sunken cheeks. And I think, do you know what? I think this was drawn after that terrible tragedy, because look at that sad little mouth. Yeah, get focus. Sad little mouth. Okay. So there you go. There you go. Sad little mouth. Shame we never got to know this one. There's a little pitiful chubby cheeks there. George Lazenby. It's not his fault. None of it was his fault, poor chap. Yeah. And there you go. So obviously you got some good features here, and what I've done is a kind of sort of nervous, scribbly mess of a mouth. But I think I can recapture that by doing some eyebrows now. That entire eye section is just one husking shadow. Yeah, it's just one. I mean, his eyes are barely visible through that. I mean, for the 60s, that's pretty brooding. Yeah. How is everyone? All right? All good on a Sunday? Surviving? Yeah. Crazy times, huh? I couldn't be happier with that. George Lazenby, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I tend not to gloat, but if I stop there, we'd be in a good place. Okay. Now here's a question, and I need some input on this. The arms and the guns and the bodies. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should draw those at the end or during? Do you think I should just concentrate on 5 heads at the moment? What do you reckon? Any artist in the house can give me some tips. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just do his little I'll do his little dicky bow, and then I'll leave him as a kind of floating apparition, almost like he's a kind of monster out of Doom. There you go, George Lazenby, and I trace across, and I've already done my planning, okay? So artistry is all about planning, and I just want to say at this point that I'm fully aware that last time I did this, it was a lot to take in. I was going pretty fast. I was giving you guys all these tips on how to do good drawings and you know, how to be a brilliant artist and everything. I can break it down into 4 sections, okay? There's 4 things you need to remember as an artist, okay? 4 things, okay? First one, don't do the drawing unless you want to do it, okay? Second one, do the drawing exactly like the thing that's on the page of the thing that you want to draw. Very important. Number 3, don't think about it. Number 4, even if it goes horribly wrong, which, well, mine hasn't, but even if it goes horribly wrong, just carry on. Never give up, okay? Always just draw, because the end result, it's a special thing that you'll regret not doing. You know, and these 4 rules are sacrosanct. Go to any artist and they'll tell you these. Whether you're some sophisticated graphic designer, or whether you're a kind of perturbed Baroque painter, every artist subscribes to those 4 rules. Just drawing some fingers here. Now, at the risk of criticising myself. I'm kind of glad I missed out Connery because, simply put, I haven't left enough room on the page, which happens. Lots of fighting in Her Majesty's Secret Service because George Lazenby had very, very chunky hands. They were almost like paws, so they were almost like bear paws, which is, as you can see, I've tried to captivate there. He's kind of got his in a sort of fist, kind of sort of UFC punching pose. Yeah, George Lazenby there. Yeah. The other thing I said about my last section, which very much applies to this one as well, is once you get the face, you really don't need to worry too much about what the rest looks like, because lovers of art only ever look at faces. I mean, you know, that body's kind of, you got a sort of shoulder that's merged into the hand. It just doesn't matter, okay? I can promise you this. Okay, alright, that's George Lazenby. I'm going to leave the room because Brosnan, typical Brosnan, getting in his way, hogging the limelight. So I'm going to skip over to the next Bond, which is Roger Moore. Roger Moore there, look at him. Won't even focus. There he is. Roger Moore. Carry On Bond. That's what it was. Carry On Bond. 7 movies of a homicidal Kenneth Williams. So he's going to be next. Roger Moore. Roger Moore. Do you remember Roger Moore walking that line? Yeah, he walked that line, didn't he? I'm not talking about a specific scene here. I'm talking about for the entirety of his 7 movies when he walked the line of political correctness. The Roger Moore tenure, ladies and gentlemen. And Moore was one of those Bonds, very much like Mr. Daniel Craig, actually, that the older he got, the more suitable he looked for the part. Because everyone knows that View to a Kill is the best Bond film. And that kind of beauty of age is captured in his face with those amazing lines in his forehead. Lines in gentlemen's foreheads, drawings. Very important. Now, in my excitement, I may have done one too many lines. But I think if he was frowning a bit more, you'd see that. Okay, so just gonna do the eyebrow and that eyebrow as well. If you ever wondered where Spock and Dwayne Johnson got that eyebrow from, pretty sure it was this guy. I'm gonna throw caution to the wind here and allow everyone to assume that this is a shot of Roger Moore from quite high up, because what I've done in this instant is I have failed to leave sufficient room for the man's mouth. Never give up. Okay, now what I'm doing now is I'm taking the original source and I'm tweaking it slightly based on what I know about Roger Moore, and I know that captures him sort of kind of well. Isn't it? It's kind of like a dark world version of Keith Richards. Yeah, okay, so there's a whole section of his face, yeah, if you look closely, that I've chosen not to include in the drawing, but never mind. Okay, never mind. Remember the 4th rule, don't give up. Do a little tie there. Yeah. Crazy times, huh? Could do with a guy like James Bond right now. Dalton! No, I am going to leave that as a floating head. Okay, this is my pictures. this is my picture so far. It's good. It's good. I hope you're learning stuff. Yeah. I'm kind of sort of I'm almost halfway. Alright. Just gonna drink some alcohol a sec. So in the 80s, do you know what happened in the 80s, everyone? Just to map out the frame of Roger Moore. There, sort of ends like that on a vertical line. There you go. And in doing that, I've suddenly had a hankering to listen to a Talking Heads album. But I won't do that now. So in the 80s, yeah, again, I'm going to... Daniel Craig. Sorry, man, you got a real tight squeeze in there, buddy. Real tight squeeze, but you'll be alright. You're the toughest of all Bonds. I'll get to you in a minute. So in the 80s, all of Ian Fleming's mates, happy with the success of the Bond franchise, they all kind of went to bed one night. And then they woke up in the morning and switched on the TV, and it was Arnie, and it was Sly, and it was Dolph, and it was Bruce, and it was Van Damme, and it was Seagal, and Norris, and you know, there was all that swearing and all that blood, and smarmy gentleman didn't quite fit into all of that until Dalton came along, because Dalton was the angry Bond, the cross Bond, the Bond that if he lost a game of poker, he'd kick the table over and storm outside and slam the door, drink loads of Stella, and there he is. Timothy Dalton, the angry Bond. Two great movies, two gritty Bond movies they were. And I, ladies and gentlemen, will be captivating that grit in his charming but rugged face, which, as you can see, goes up almost completely vertically on the left there. Okay, now I'm not going to draw the hair just yet. I always leave that till last. Of fans of my Val Kilmer triumph might be aware of. Okay, and then it's real simple, man. Real simple. Drawing's easy. Drawing a picture's easy. Any artist will tell you this. Drawing a picture's easy. Okay, you just got to follow number 2 of my rules, which is always draw the picture of the thing that is on the screen of what you want to draw. Very important. Okay, now. Right. Good eyes, Ash. That's what you're thinking. Good eyes, Ash. Wrong! Dead wrong, folks. That's not his eyes. That's his eyebrows. Gonna colour those bad boys in. I hope you're all having a good Sunday. I watched Solo last night. You know, the Star Wars film. Very good. Very good. Very, very, very fun. Very enjoyable. Solo. So there's a scene in Solo when they go to this club in a sort of weird world. There's loads of music and drinking and stuff, and run by Vision out the Avengers. And there's one scene right at the beginning where there's this song being played on stage, a song, and the artist is this lady all covered in gold bits, and there's a little squid in a jar of water, a little tiny squid in a small jar of water singing alongside her. Now listen, what I want you to do, when I've drawn this, what I want you to do is I want you to watch Solo, skip to that bit, and listen to that song, and listen to it really carefully, because I want somebody to edit that song alongside the scene in The Last Jedi when Luke Skywalker is drinking that alien breast milk. you know, and he's being a bit messy and horrible about it, and it's dripping down his chin, and he's wiping it off his chops. I want somebody to edit that song off Solo, and I think if somebody does that, it will be the greatest Star Wars scene of all time. I practice a lot. I do a drawing every day, which really helps to refine my skills. You know, people say, "Oh, you were born with it." I wasn't born with it. It's hard work. It's grit. It's hustle. Okay. Right now, this is how. I mean, there's good drawings, and then you know anybody could burst into this room now, push me off my chair. You know, say the screen just went blank, push me off my chair. They just go Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton straight away. Okay, there's nothing to do with how big your ego is or how naturally talented you are. It's just practice, and if you practice well enough, then you can draw in the way that I draw. There's his arm. His arm is fused kind of with his torso, and that's the kind of sacrifice you have to make when you work specifically on A5 sheets of paper with biro, which is my preferred tool of choice. Oh, I better draw the gun, otherwise it just looks like he's punching Roger Moore on the shoulder. Do his little finger there. See, that's not fair. It kind of merges into the black. I mean, is all that his gun? That'd be weird, wouldn't it? There you go, just do it like that. It's fine. You're only looking at the faces, remember. And we're on to Brosnan. I can't wait for this. This is the highlight of my drawing, I think. Mr. Brosnan, look at him. If you want 4 movies of a man arsing around with his watch, then Brosnan is the Bond run for you to do. Some great baddies as well. Bean, Carlisle, Stevens, that annoying monk out of Game of Thrones. A really stellar cast, a great tenure. Everything was right. But he would not stop messing around with his watches. I mean, even there he's like, hey, look at me watch. Unapologetically, I might add. Okay, now, I'm at a bit of a difficult situation here. Okay, this is what they refer to in the artist world as a code black. Okay, now a code black is when you suddenly realise that you haven't left enough room on the paper to draw the drawing. Okay, it's all about condensing, really. You have to try to imagine that these are being viewed from kind of sort of very specific angles, you know. I mean, with all the special effects in movies today, you're gonna get a squashed Bond at some point. I mean, I'm just sketching out details here. I'm not paying too much attention to what I'm doing or where the lines are going or how it's going to look or what what the end result is going to be. It's all right. It's fine. Rule number 3. Okay, and in sketching this with a certain amount of hate, the prediction, the forecast for this drawing is that hand is going to completely miss that hand. So what do? Do a little twist. Do a little twist so it kind of goes up like that and clashes with his bow tie. And then, yeah, I haven't forgotten about your watch, Pierce. Call your jets, mate. There you go, it's 4 o'clock on the watch. Okay, and then And it's important when you reach a crisis point in a drawing and you don't know what to do. It's really important just to kind of smash through it. Okay. Imagine that you've got about 5 seconds. Like, imagine, yeah, that there's a bunch of people watching you, and they're all getting sick and tired of you flipping prattling on for 20 minutes. Yeah. Put yourself in that boat. I know it's hard to imagine. I mean, what we've really got here is a massive fingers. I mean, how many fingers has he got there? I think there's like a third hand kind of in between his left and his right there. It kind of looks like he's, I don't know, holding something in between that. So just, I mean, draw what you see. So I'm gonna capture that. There you go. There's his little gun. Little gun. Okay, and now the face. The face of Brosnan. Again, I'm sort of gonna make good on some of the catastrophic geometrical errors that I've made on this drawing. I'm gonna simply place his face a little more to the right, because you can do that in drawing. You can move faces slightly off the body. It's fine. God, can you imagine if I did Connery in this as well? It'd be a mess. Do you reckon, guys, you want to hear about the Connery thing? I'm a little bit embarrassed. I'm a bit embarrassed about it. Just hit me up in the comments if you wanna hear. Oh, that's good to know. I'll just get rid of that. I don't know if that piece of information has been fact checked, but we're trying to get away from all that, aren't we? So there you go. Back to reality. Back to not reality. Okay, so Pierce Brosnan's features, they are so small and subtle that they almost don't exist. Pierce Brosnan, he almost, it's absolutely true, he almost doesn't have a face. His features are that subtle. I mean, his eyes are basically like, you don't even need to finish the eyes. There you go. And that's it. That's all you need to do for his eyes. The same with his mouth. I mean, I'll do a bit of lip, some stubble. Right, Craig. Here we go, Daniel Craig. So the story so far is I've been drawing 007 minus Sean Connery. For anybody who's just tuned in, welcome if you have. By some kind of public demand, it looks like somebody wants to know why I haven't drawn Sean Connery. I'll tell you that in a minute. I'm gonna grab Daniel Craig and I'm gonna smash him in the middle of these fine gentlemen, the sophisticated Daniel Craig, the most unbond but very bond Daniel Craig. Oh God, where do I put that on? I'm gonna have to just gonna have to snake it in along the side, I think. There you go, he's got his hand in a pocket. And he's got a little watch too. And it's square. He's like, haha. Yeah, you saw me, Pierce. What are you gonna do, huh? You've seen me fight. Right, so there's his collar. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. It's been a blast doing these drawings. I'll just, I don't know, just carry on forever, huh? What say you? Keep the requests coming. I'm enjoying doing the mystery challenge. I think I might add a new feature where the first to guess it right gets to do the request next. But obviously that person has to message me quietly, because if they just drop it in the comment section, then it's going to this going to spoil the surprise? Okay, so Daniel Craig, that piercing gaze, those rugged features, very handsome man. You know, I read on Wikipedia that if you stare, even if it's just a photo, even if it's just a picture, if you stare into Daniel Craig's eyes for too long, you will go mad. So I'm going to try and skirt past that, because, you know, there is something. It's the only example in the universe where you'll find that particular shade of blue in his pupils. You won't find it anywhere else. It's not on the what's it called, the colour chart thing, the Pantone chart, whatever it's called, I don't know. As an artist, I'm too sort of avant-garde to worry about that kind of thing. So there you go. As you know, Daniel Craig was a sort of really, really skinny, weird wizard of a James Bond. Very, very sullen. One of his particular Bond, one of his wives got offed as well. He's had some terrible luck. Terrible luck, Daniel Craig. But he keeps on ticking on. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly go back there, and I'm just gonna sketch in Moore's Walter PPK. And I've got the whole gang. I've got every single Bond. An institution, I should say. Brilliant. Over the years, like when you get to this stage in a drawing and everything else has gone as well, you know, it's gone according to plan, like mine has. You can kind of speed up on the rest, you know. Any artist will take this. Just draw his little hand tucked in there. Kind of scratching the sort of armpit of his elbow. Bit raring to go. Makes another kind of innuendo, I guess. Some dude on a bike outside. You're breaking the rules, mate! Rule number 5, bonus rule. Okay? Once you put your pen down, don't pick it up. Okay, this is all black mass. Always finish. Just a little scribble at the bottom. Thanks for tuning in, Reese. I was going to do a shout out for you, but I forgot. Sorry. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so the finished article. Right. Picture. Copy of picture. Now, it wasn't easy. Okay, we hit a few pitfalls on the way, but together we got through it. Now, yeah, I'm going to sign it, and I'm proud of that work, and I have to say, I don't think I could have done it without you. There you go. So, to reiterate, Lazenby, Lazenby, Moore, Dalton, Brosnan, Craig. Fine selection of gentlemen, heroes of our time. Okay, so I missed one out. Okay. Now, I misled you to an extent. Okay. Because I have insinuated that I have taken no time to draw Sean Connery. This is in fact not the truth. I have drawn Sean Connery. Okay. Do you want to see him? Okay. So this is normally the piece of paper that I work with. It's a standard A5. Okay. I went a bit bigger. For Sean Connery. And when I say bigger, I went really, really massive. It's been a long 5 weeks. Can't go out. I thought we need some reassurance, some kind of patriarchal grit that only Sean Connery can provide. So I did him first off, and I did him huge in my children's bedroom. And it was only then that I decided to do the rest. So I'm going to put my little drawing here. Sorry to press on your face there, Craig. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all 6 James Bonds, heroes in our time. And if you were feeling a little nervous about the weeks ahead, I like to think that seeing all these faces has made you a bit less nervous and a little less terrified when you go to bed at night. James Bond. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a blast. Please keep sending the requests. And as long as you keep nagging me, I'll never ever stop this. I will never ever stop. Right, well, enjoy your Sunday, everyone. I hope you're having a good one. And yes, I love you all. Thanks for tuning in. Good people. Stay safe. Have a fun time. And yes, I'm glad you guys could tune in. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.